This conference will now be recorded.
Oh, Debbie's back. Oh, she's gone. There's Debbie. Hi, Deb.
Oh. There she is.
Rob, I was going to have my camera set up at the fireside so I could have a fireside chat, but with all the little kids running back and forth, I didn't think it'd be productive.
Yeah.
Where's
I think
Joanne?
we're going to see the limitations. I think we're going to see the limitations that CenturyLink is going to lay upon us here.
Yeah, I might switch mine to Verizon. Anyways.
I almost feel like I should switch over to my my phone to stream.
We lost Steve.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Ted.
Ted here.
Hi, Ted.
Hi, everybody.
And Deb looks frozen right now. She hasn't moved in a while.
Yeah, no,
Here's
Debbie looks frozen. Oh, no.
We lost Deb again.
Who'd you lose?
Deb.
I'm here. Ted's here.
Ted's here, but not Deb.
Oh, Deb. I'm sorry. I didn't understand you. Okay, Deb.
Yeah. We don't have Steve or Joanne.
Oh,
Steve's in
okay.
the committee room. I think he's going to log in just a couple minutes. Oh, good. And you can all see the agenda I have on the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I can see that it's on the screen. Whether or not I can read it, but it's another story.
On the right, Mr. Moorhead, on the right side of your screen, you should be able to increase the size of the document. There should be a plus. There should be a plus icon.
I'm going to hit the plus sign. There we go.
Hey, guys.
It's
This
going to
is
be
Scott. I'm on.
What happened to Dawn?
She's here.
Oh, you're there. Okay.
I'm still here.
You're still there?
I'm here.
Can you
I'm
guys
here.
hear me? I can hear you. Okay.
Okay, is my camera working now? And my
Yeah, you're
voice?
good, Deb.
Okay,
Yay,
good. Thanks.
Yes.
So initially, I'm not going to mute everybody. I was thinking of muting everybody but the committee. I'm just hoping everybody, is respectful, but if I have to, I'll play around with that. I just don't want to start off the meeting that way.
Sounds good, Everett.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, Joanne joined.
I'm on.
Where's your picture, Joanne?
Where is?
Joanne's live from the elementary school? Where are
I'm on. We can't see everybody. You gotta move over. That's why. You gotta scroll over. All right.
Somebody's voice is.
I see Dawn. I see an empty chair at the town hall. I see Rob. That's it. Oh, there you are. All right. So, Everett, what happens is people come on, they keep moving over.
Honestly, it's new to me. I think it goes based on the screen. You can adjust how you see. If you can see everybody, you should be able to adjust your screen. So right now, I only have the active cameras on my screen, so I can only see all the committee people, the Blairstown computer, and Dawn. So like Ted Rodman's on, but he's using his computer, or excuse me, he's using his phone, so he doesn't appear on my screen.
You're right.
I have the agenda. and-
Everett, you can see me?
Who's asking the question?
This is Steve. Can you see me and hear me?
I
No,
can see you. Yeah, I can see you now. Your speaker's on. Yeah.
What picture's not-
I don't see the mayor.
No, it just says.
He doesn't have an camera. He doesn't have an active camera. So if you have the option to have only active cameras on, you won't see him, but he's here.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
If you select everyone in your view and you scroll down, you should be able to see the mayor. And it looks like we have 3 callers who called in and Calvin just joined.
yeah,
Hey,
Hi,
Cal.
Calvin.
yeah, we got
Hi, Cal.
Calvin, Nick is on.
Hi, Cal.
Oh, yeah, I see Nick. You're right.
I'm
And
here as well.
Scott is on.
The other day.
We have a,
Are you getting back feed? Because I have two, I have my phone here and I got a laptop.
Nope.
Okay.
No. Somebody's backfeeding. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, we should remind everyone that if you can mute your own microphone so we don't hear anything, coming back through. Not the committee members, but if you're just joining in to listen, make sure you mute your mic so we don't hear anything back feeding through your line.
Did Dawn? Oh, no, there's Dawn. Okay.
I'm here. I'm trying to stay quiet unless needed.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready? 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
I'd like to call the regular Blairstown Township Committee meeting of Wednesday, March 25th, 2020 to order. Do we have a roll call?
Mr. Moorhead?
Here.
Mr. Seekers?
here,
Mrs. Van Valkenburg?
Here.
Mrs. Walton?
Here.
Mayor Lance?
Here. Could you all rise for a flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
America.
United States
To
of
the
America.
republic,
one nation, under God.
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
That was a mess.
Slightly.
Too much of a lag here with everything.
Yeah.
Adequate notice of this meeting is provided in accordance with the Open Publics Meeting Act, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this public meeting through a legal notice published in the Star Ledger and New Jersey Herald following the township's annual reorganization meeting at which the 2020 meeting schedule was adopted. I have an additional statement to read here for this special occasion. In addition, as a result of the state of emergency issued by Governor Murphy, the township provided a link and dial-in number for residents to participate in to listen to this meeting. The public will be muted for the business portion of the meeting, but will be unmuted and able to participate at the time of the public portion. If in addition, residents were encouraged to submit their comments via email. These emails will be read into the record during the public portion. Now, I'm going to skip around on this agenda a bit because this is very confusing for me. As many of you know, I hate speaking on the telephone. I want to do this in a public meeting, and I'm sure that's going to happen in the very near future. So at this time, I'm going to just omit, unless there's the township committee objects, public comments on agenda items. I'm just going to omit that from these electronic meetings at this time. Any disagreement with that? Okay, let's skip down. Ordinances. We have 3 ordinances here to introduce. Now, most of this agenda was put together when we thought we were going to actually be together in person. I don't want to even introduce these. Let's table these ordinances if there's any, if it's agreement of the township committee. So could I entertain an ordinance to table ordinance number 2020-02, an ordinance to amend chapter 143, peace and good order, and chapter 62, animals, article 1, dogs of the code of the township of Blairstown. Do I have a motion to table?
Table out. So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Just 1 second. That's a whole lot of writing. Mr. Moorhead,
Yes.
Mr. Seekes,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Valkenburg,
Yes.
Mrs. Waldron,
Yes.
Mayor Lance.
Yes. Okay, do I have a motion to table ordinance number 2020-05, an ordinance to amend chapter 177, towing, section 177-10, towing, storage, and mileage charges of the code of the township of Blairstown?
So moved.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Seekes, okay.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Moorhead,
Yes.
Mr. Seekes,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Valkenburg,
Yes.
Mrs. Waldron,
Yes.
Mayor Lance.
Yes. Okay, do I have a motion to table ordinance number 2020-06, an ordinance to amend Part 1, administrative legislation of the code of the township of Blairstown to add a new chapter 36 entitled Fire Department? Do we have a motion to table?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mr. Moorhead? Mr. Moorhead?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, there was a delay. Mr. Seekes,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Valkenburg,
Yes.
Mrs. Waldron,
Yes.
Mayor Lance.
Yes. Okay, now we have a public hearing for final adoption of 2 ordinances that were previously advertised. We had a first reading on, and it's really a waste of money after they've been advertised and everything to just table these ordinances. So at this time, do we have a motion to approve ordinance number 2020-03, an ordinance to amend section 171-3, snow, ice, and dirt removal, section 171-6, notice to remove sidewalk nuisance and obstructions, and add a new section 171-8 entitled Enforcement Violations and Penalties of the Code of the Township of Blairstown?
I'll make the motion.
I'll make
I'll
the
make that
motion.
motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have to open this for a public hearing at this time. Are there any comments, questions from the general public on this ordinance adoption? Anyone? Going once, twice. Okay, public hearing is closed. Okay, could we have a roll call vote on the adoption?
Mr. Moorhead,
Yes.
Mr. Seekes,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Valkenburg,
Yes,
Mrs. Waldron,
Yes.
Mayor Lance.
Yes. Okay, next we have ordinance number 2020-04, an ordinance to amend chapter 184, vehicles and traffic, section 184-10, temporary parking prohibition for snow plowing and removal of the code of the township of Blairstown. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any committee discussion? Okay, open the public hearing. Any comments, questions?
I just want to make sure Everett has the mute, right, to the public?
I haven't muted anybody. If they're muted, they muted themselves.
Okay, thank you, Everett.
No problem.
Okay, public hearing going once, twice, 3 times, close public hearing. I think I'm at a tax sale. Okay, can we have a roll call vote?
Mr. Moorhead,
Yes.
Mr. Seekes,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Valkenburg,
yes,
Mrs. Waldron,
Yes.
Mayor Lance.
Yes. Okay, when you examine this consent agenda, you know, we spoke about this at the last township committee meeting. One of these items, we said we're going to bring it up at the next regular township committee meeting. That's item number 2. You know, I really would like to do just the most urgent things here tonight and table some of these items. What's the opinion of the township committee?
I think we should approve the vouchers and the claims. And maybe
Right.
the social affair because of the dates possibly.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Joanne.
absolutely.
And the contract.
What about
and the resolution for the
What-
well
and-
house, correct?
Yes, you definitely should do the resolution for the well house.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. I just want any of the public out there, you know, I know the 2A resolution is very important, but, you know, we pride ourselves on being a
Why don't you-
transparent township committee. I would like this to be
okay.
discussed in
Why don't
full.
you tell us which one do you want to pull?
Well, wait a minute. Whoa. Okay. I would like this 2A resolution to be discussed in full at a township committee meeting when we're sitting here in person. If there's any in the general public there, I am fully for adopting this resolution. But in the appearance of transparency, I would like to hear from everybody, either pro or con that resolution. Okay, so at this time, okay, we'll table item number 1, which is resolution 2020-045, resolution of the Township of Blairstown, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, authorizing an amendment to the personnel policy. Okay, item number 2, resolution 2020-046, declaring the Township of Blairstown a Second Amendment lawful gun owner community. As far as the other items from 3 through 8, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I'll second.
roll call.
Mr. Moorhead,
Yeah.
Mr. Moorhead?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Seekes,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Valkenburg,
Yes,
Mrs. Waldron,
Yes.
Mayor Lance.
Yes. Okay, we have next unfinished business, this Nisavakia contract. Is there opinion of the committee to proceed or table this one?
Dawn,
I
any comment?
proceed.
So long as Nizhevachia is getting paid for the services that they're providing, I think that this agreement can wait until we're not under a state of emergency and we have some more time to really discuss what is needed by the township. I just want to make sure that they are getting paid going forward.
I agree. Nope, I agree.
I agree too. Do we have a motion to table that?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second,
roll call?
Mr. Moorhead,
Yes.
Mr. Seekers,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Valkenburg,
yes,
Mrs. Waldron,
Yes,
Mayor Lance.
Yes. Under new business, item number 1, we have a state of emergency coronavirus. That was declared by me, consulting with our OEM director, and I'm going to bring the OEM director in after a while. That was, all the days are running together. I think on March 12th, we actually did that declaration. Okay, new business, item number 2, GeoWorks. Now,
Mayor,
I have a conflict of interest. I'm going to turn the meeting at this time over to Deputy Mayor Joanne Van Valkenburg. Joe, you there to conduct this portion?
yes.
Can I just mention something? Yeah, we have to at some point in time decide which meetings we're having moving forward. If we are canceling the closed executive session, not the executive sessions, if we're canceling the workshops and just doing the regular meetings the next couple months, we're gonna have to decide that.
All right, we'll discuss that later on. It's back. Let's see.
Was the opinion of the Township Committee, should we proceed with a workshop meeting in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think we should. Steve.
Yeah.
Very seriously.
Maybe we could address some of these items we're tabling one at a time, because we're going to have such a backlog in whenever we come back here in person.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. 2 weeks, we'll have a workshop meeting then, Everett.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Joanne, you there to conduct the GeoWorks?
Yeah. Dawn, do you want to?
Okay, I'm going to step away.
Dawn, you
Okay,
want
Mayor,
to?
you don't have to step away any longer when it's regarding work that they're performing.
He did already.
Okay, okay.
He feels
here's-
better without it.
Okay, that's fine. It's perfectly his right to do that. Here's what's going on. The contiguous property owner has been contacted. They were provided with an access agreement. He has been resistant to executing that agreement. He has asked for some concession by by GeoWorks and their sub in the form of getting a maintenance bond for after the work, because he's afraid what happens if the land sinks in. And most recently, he has asked for the township to pay his costs. Specifically, I think what he is referencing is he had his attorney review the agreement, and his attorney has some questions. I have not been able to discern what they are, because when I called the gentleman today and got his voicemail box is full. So I have not been able to touch base with him, but I was speaking to Fred about it, and what we think we can do is advise him that we are able to reimburse him for his costs up to $500. If that's acceptable to the committee, that can be done through our office. It would then go on our legal bill, and it would just be a way to try to move this along. Now, keep in mind that they are required to cooperate. If they won't give us permission, we can go into court and make them give us permission. We don't really want to do that. That can be expensive and time consuming, and we also don't want the animosity of that. We want to work with our citizens.
And we're going to end up spending more money. Right.
And we don't want to spend more money. So this seems to be a good meet in the middle. I don't know if he will accept an offer of $500. As I said, I tried to call him today, got his voicemail box, and was advised it was full. And I did not have an opportunity to email him with that. But if the committee is amenable to that, I will keep trying to reach out to him and get him on the phone and make that offer to him.
Yeah,
I think that's a reasonable solution.
with Dawn's sending, information for access and everything. He wanted to be sure that his attorney looked at everything and that he was covered in whatever way. So he is spending money. This is the neighbor at, Walnut Valley, to have his attorney check it out. And he's asking for coverage. Why should he be spending money for something that was not his fault?
Correct.
How does the committee feel
I agree.
about that? Rob, any comment?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his legal fees are already.
Well, we're limiting it by saying, right, Dawn, by putting 500 on there?
Yes, and to be honest, Mr. Moorhead, the agreement is about 3 pages. So if he's at $500 already, he's got a really, really, really expensive lawyer. And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Right, and he's also asking for us to assure him that we will fix any depression that may form.
Well,
Right.
the agreement,
He wants to
Sir,
be paid full.
and
That's what he wants.
the agreement says that when GeoWorks and their subcontractors are done, they will put everything back to the way it is. He's
Right.
concerned about a year down the line, what if what was put back, the dirt, the fill, whatever, sinks, and then he's got a depression in the yard. He will not accept the assurances of the agreement because then he's got to litigate and enforce. So he wants basically a maintenance bond from the vendor. Now, I've been in touch with GeoWorks, and their representative has assured me that the subcontractor has no problem getting a bond. Everybody thinks this is very unusual. No individual has ever requested such a bond, but they are willing to do it. I have not had an opportunity to convey that to Mr. Actel as well. He claims to want to work with the municipality, and he realizes it's in his best interests. My conversations with Sandra at GeoWorks is that it's like a foot. It's a foot of their property that they're going to be working on. So there
Right.
really isn't a huge concern about the long run.
Right.
We do also have.
No, and most of the disturbance in this area is in the wooded portion of the property. That's where it is. It's not in his grass. It's not a big portion of flat land. It's in a wooded area that is exactly next door to the perimeter of the fire department building.
That's my understanding as well. So even if it did sink, he won't even be able to see it.
Okay.
Well, they're
Right.
going to be taking the trees down, though. They have to take all the trees down in that area in order to do the excavation.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think our guys are doing it.
as long as the committee is okay with me extending that amount,
Yeah.
I will, do my best to get in touch with him tomorrow and let him know.
That sounds fair.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Can we do a roll call? Everett?
Of course. Mr. Moorhead? We
Yes.
would need a motion in a second, excuse me. So,
Yeah, let's make a motion.
I'll make
for-
that
to pay-
motion.
To
And
pay
then
up to
second.
500, right? Deb?
Yes.
And
I
I'll
need a
second.
second. So,
Yes,
okay,
I'll
so
second.
I have Deb as motioning, and then Mrs. Van Valkenburg is seconding?
No,
Okay.
switch that.
Richard,
Oh,
okay. Rob?
My bad, I'm sorry. It's hard with the audio. Okay, Mr. Moorhead?
Can't hear you, Rob.
Yes.
There's a
Oh, there you
huge
go.
delay for Rob.
Mr. Seeger?
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Valkenburg?
Yeah.
Mrs. Waldron?
Uh,
Mrs. Waldron?
Yes,
Okay, and Mayor
Yes.
Lance recused himself. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Rob, you
How
must
do you
have
get-
Century
I can
Link.
come back.
Yes, you can come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have it here up to 500, Mrs. Van Valkenburg.
Yes.
Okay, we're done with that issue then?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Item number 3 under new business, a letter from Service Electric. As many of you are aware, Service Electric is going to be taken over by Altice. I had a meeting with Altice back, a year ago, I guess it was, with the area mayors up in Hardwick Township. We put together a meeting, and Altice just came in and they were like, hey, we're thinking about doing an overlay in this area. And I've never heard of Altice before, and I think they're Optimum. Everybody knows them as.
Yep.
But after speaking with the other mayors in our area, I think we should hold up on this. Everybody is under the same opinion that maybe we should try to get some concessions to approve this merger, this takeover, maybe some additional
Fine.
roads wired, that sort of thing. What's your opinion?
We have several roads
That sounds like a great idea.
Okay, I'm sure it got lost in with everything going on and everything. It's probably, I'll resend it, probably a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, before this whole state of emergency. I sent an email to everybody asking, what additional roads would you like wired with cable TV? The benefit really isn't cable TV, it's the internet access. Right now,
right.
Service Electric, I understand, is light years ahead of CenturyLink. CenturyLink, it's been improved. I have to say, I have CenturyLink. I'm not even wired for cable in my area of the township, but my CenturyLink service is up to most of the time 7 meg download speed, which is an incredible improvement over being 1 in fractions of 1 historically. So I'll resend that email to all of you. Put your thinking caps on here, what additional roads. I'm not sure if we have a map here in the township of what roads are already wired. I would think something we have when we reapprove the franchise agreement. We have a map here someplace with the roads that are wired in the town. And let's ask, for an additional, concession, like we did with CenturyLink, 3 years ago. All the towns got together and we asked for an improvement, and there has been an improvement. So let's hold up on approving
Hey, Steve,
the agreement. Go ahead.
Steve,
Yeah.
your webpage, on your township webpage, you put up a request to the residents on that webpage that we can share and ask them what roads have no coverage or have poor coverage. Just give us a road name.
Okay, I will put up a message like that, but I hope it's not lost in with all the state of emergency, all the COVID-19 notices. I put 6 of them a day up, but I will ask the residents to. A good suggestion, Debbie. I will put that up.
Okay, thanks.
Comments about that?
Before. Did you hear me, Steve?
Yeah, I can hear you, Joanne.
Mount Herman is one because we've had meetings before with people complaining about that, I believe. Mount Herman?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
It's
think
like
Mount Herman
yeah, it
Road, Committeeman Seekus lives on Mount Herman Road, but I think it stops at Cedar Lake Road, at the intersection there. Now, I live on the other side of Route 80 off of Mount Herman Road. There's nothing over there at all. And I'll have to have a better conversation with Hope Township, probably to get that Union Brick, Mount Herman, Centerville Road, Frontage Road. Probably that would contingent on doing something from Hope Township, maybe.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay, sounds good. Okay,
Yep.
we'll hold up on that. We'll get back to that maybe in the next 2 weeks. We'll see if we could come to a list of roads and say, hey, we'll approve this contingent upon maybe you can help us out with these roads. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we have a memo from Dawn about the coronavirus. Do you want to mention anything about that, Dawn? Counselor?
Yes, I'm sorry, I had to unmute myself.
No problem.
Nothing specific, just to let everyone know, we are on top of all of the issues. Every day a new issue is coming out. We're looking at the impact of this state of emergency on inspections. We're looking at the impact on bidding. we're looking at, just kind of all of the restrictions, because as each new restriction comes out, it impacts you guys as a municipality very differently than it impacts the general public. So we're trying to keep up with everything. We're in contact with the DCA. I just earlier before I got on was working on something with regard to what they're recommending for accepting bids, because that whole process is supposed to be in person and hand delivered bids, and so trying to handle that process in this new world of nobody should be near each other. So on top of the information, I have to look and see. We've issued so many memos. We just want you to know that we are on top of everything. Every time something comes out, we're doing our best to not really dumb it down, but put it into easy to digest information, as opposed to the 12-page executive orders, and take some of the guidance and relay it. And just if ever anything comes out and you have any questions or you're not sure, just let me know. We've got an entire office working on making sure we're getting you guys as much information up to date as we really can.
Thank you, Dawn. You and your firm are doing a great job keeping us advised on this. This is all new to all of us and everything. And these directives that are coming out in Trenton, like you said, they're 10 and 12 pages apiece. They're directives that are written for, Newark and Jersey City, as well as a Blairstown or, Hope or whatever. And many of the things really don't pertain to us. And I'm glad that you go through this and screen it out for us, because I have a stack of papers here right now. I only brought a fraction of the papers I got in the past week. It's amazing. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And it's my responsibility to make sure that you guys understand what you can and can't do, and how to do it, and how best to do it. So like I said, if anyone's ever got a question, please don't hesitate to reach out. And if I haven't personally reviewed it or interpreted it, I'm sure somebody in my office has, and we can collaborate to get you guys what you need to get.
Thank you. Okay, going to take it a little bit out of order. Normally we have comments from the Township Committee at this time, and then we go to a public portion. We're going to go to the public first. I have a statement to read here. I'm going to ask for a motion to open this meeting to the public. Do we have a motion?
I'll make it.
Do we have a second?
Bob, we didn't hear you. I saw you.
I'll second.
Motion to open this meeting to the public, Joanne, and do we have a second?
Rob's on a delay.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I got Mr.
Okay.
Moran.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? No? Okay. Before we start the public portion of the meeting, I think it's important that we set a few ground rules to ensure members of the public can be heard and are able to hear the discussion of the governing body. In order to establish some organization, we will proceed in alphabetical order. For example, I will ask for members of the public whose last names start with A through F to announce themselves for recognition. I will proceed in groups, G through L, M through P, and R through Z. If you have already submitted a question or comment via email, please let us know so that email is not read later in the meeting. If a member of the public wishes to address the governing body, they may state their name and address for the record. Make your statement, comment, or question, and then state that you are finished with the same. Once all residents have made their comment and all of the emails are read into the record, the governing body will respond if they choose to. Please refrain from speaking while any other individual is speaking so that all those participating can hear all comments and responses. Therefore, if you have a question, please note that we will not respond until such time as all public comments are concluded. I will begin asking for any members of the public whose last name begins with A through F to announce your name. Any public that would like to ask us questions, comments with last names beginning A through F, please announce yourself. Any members of the public, A through F, please announce yourself. Hearing none, we'll go to the next group. Any member of the public with last names beginning G through L, please announce yourself. Any member of the public with last names G through L, please announce yourself. Any member of the public, names G through L, announce yourself. Any members of the public, last names beginning M through P, and would like to make a comment, please announce yourself.
Dominic Portelli here I called in about the Second Amendment resolution. I understand that it's been tabled and I understand why. I just wanted to say something quickly. During Murphy's executive order, I'm not sure if you guys heard or not, but he's decided to shut down our New Jersey NIC system and also close all the gun stores in New Jersey. So he's basically stopped all firearms transfers, all legal transfers from happening in New Jersey until further notice. I just wanted to make that point so you guys kind of understand why this whole Second Amendment sanctuary thing is happening in the first place. When Murphy has been confronted on this issue, he says it is what it is, and he thinks that only trained law enforcement should own firearms in the state. This is a reason why we've been working on this Second Amendment sanctuary thing, because politicians like this who have no respect for our constitutional rights, and in a time of crisis like now, when people are scared and they want to be able to defend their families, their loved ones, and their property, they should be able to do so. And I hope you guys are on board with this. I completely understand why it's been delayed, but I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you. I'll address that at the end of the public comments. Any other public from last names beginning M through P wish to make a comment or question of the Township Committee?
Steve, it's Dave Paulson.
Hi,
I
Dave.
just want to make
What's your address, Dave?
3 Water Street.
Okay.
I just wanted to make a mention that we were on a call with Nick and Brian Walsh the other night. Just want to make a mention that they're both doing a great job. They're being very proactive, and we appreciate everything that they're doing. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Good job.
They're doing a great job. Everybody is. They're really pitching in. Any other member of the public with last names beginning M through P wish to comment? Any member of the public, last names M through P? Any member of the public, names M through P, announce yourself. Hearing none, we'll go to last names beginning R through Z. Any member of the public, R through Z, would like to make a comment, announce yourself. Any member of the public with last name R through Z, announce yourself. Any member of the public with names R through Z, announce yourself. Okay, I'm going to close the public comment portion here if it's agreeable with the Township Committee. Do we have a motion to close public comment?
I'll make that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I'll second.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay? Okay, public comment is closed. Just to address the comment made by the gentleman about the two-way resolution, I could only speak for myself. I'm totally on board. I think you were here at the last Township Committee meeting. I'm a gun owner. I heard Murphy's comments, and actually, a friend of mine filed for a pistol permit, and he texted me 2 days ago. And I'm like, good luck getting a permit now. But within 20 minutes, I had an email from the state police, with the questions, vouching for his character and everything. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're holding up after that. But, I filled out my questionnaire online for this gentleman who I've known since we were kids. And so I don't know, I hear Murphy's comments, but something is still happening within the state police structure as far as issuing permits. That's all I have about public comments. Does anybody else have any comments about any of the public comments from the Township Committee?
No. I agree with the statement you made, Steve, with regard to the statement that we're holding aside if we could approve it right now. The Second Amendment, awful. I understand there's a lot of people who feel the same way that gentleman did, and I know there's a lot of people who have commented on Governor Murphy, so I'd like to see us adopt that in the future.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't feel it's proper to adopt it like this. This
No.
might be a public meeting. This does not feel transparent in my mind. I've been here for 15 years now, and I pride myself on, transparency, not doing things behind closed doors. And here I am sitting by myself in the meeting room. I don't enjoy this at all. I think we should just do the most necessary things to pay our bills, award the contract for the water well, which we did tonight, that's public safety, and address this state of emergency. Okay, at this time, I'm going to open it up to the Township Committee. We don't have the list as usual on our agenda. Well, wait a minute. Before I open up the Township Committee, we have our Emergency Management Director on here, Nick Moore. Nick, would you like to give a brief report?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
So just a brief summary. I'm sure everyone sees TV and is bombarded by the same information we all are. We are in a local state of emergency, a state state of emergency, and a federal state of emergency in response to the COVID-19 influenza pandemic. We declared locally on March 13th. We've taken some proactive steps, closing township facilities to the public, reducing interaction between employees and each other, employees and the public, while still trying to provide essential services and keep the business of the townspeople going. All these measures that we've taken are about trying to keep people well and not sick, and hopefully we will see if these measures are effective with time. At this time, there are approximately 15 positive cases in Warren County. We're looking nationally at 65,285 cases in the United States, 4,402 cases in New Jersey, and the latest number for Warren County are actually 18 positive cases with New York State, is right next door. They're looking at something like almost 31,000 cases at this point. So unfortunately, this is here to stay, and I don't think that we're going to see the peak of this for at least another 2 to 3 weeks, if not longer, unfortunately. So does anyone have any questions?
No.
Last update I have for today is the governor just issued Executive Order 110, and will be closing all daycare centers in the state of New Jersey. The only way a daycare center can stay open is they have to certify by Friday that they're going to stay open solely to service the children of essential employees and first responders. Everybody else is going to be closed by Wednesday. And that just came out today.
Just want to thank you for the great job you're doing, keeping us informed. I don't know if the township committee is aware of all this work that Nick's putting in here, all these hours that he's putting in. It's amazing. This is really a group effort here, and all of our emergency services are doing a great job on this. Thank you, Nick.
I appreciate your kind comments. I want to make sure that everybody knows it's not just me. I have a great group in OEM. The 5 of us work really hard together and with the mayor and the other department heads to try and make this work. So if anybody has an issue, please feel free to reach out, but we are monitoring the situation and we are doing everything we can to be proactive. You guys have a great evening.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Now, I know there's some department heads on here. I'm not sure who, but you don't have to give your department head report. Is there anything that anybody would like to specifically speak to tonight about the meeting, about the state of emergency? Any of the department heads?
None from Ted.
Thank you, Ted.
Gotta love Ted.
That's it. Okay. Hearing nothing else from the department heads. Okay, open it up to the township committee for comments. I'm not sure how many people are on here. We might be speaking to ourselves and have that one gentleman in the audience with the 2A advocate here. So I'm not sure how involved we want to get. Okay, I'm going to call on this time. Debbie, would you like to say something?
I've talked to Chief Johnson with regard to the police department and how they're operating, and I'm sure there's a tremendous amount of stress, but they're doing an excellent job. I know our fire department. I know that Nick has given the report for them, which would include the fire, police, and ambulance squad. So I'm very appreciative of everyone in emergency services because they're going above and beyond.
Thank you, Debbie. Fire Chief Insco just texted me that there's 21 people on here. So there's 5 of us, engineer, clerk, township committeeman. So there's like 10 people on here from the public. So that's great. At least we're not doing this in isolation. Rob, would you like to say, have a comment?
Let me see. Did he drop off? Oh, Eric's still on here. Eric, can you unmute yourself? There he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
I just wanted to, Eric and I have been going back and forth with his game plan with staffing for this crisis, and he's gotten kind of mixed signals from different members of the committee. I'd like to try to hash out what exactly he should be doing with his guys over there. Eric, you want to tell me what you're doing right now?
Yeah, currently we have 3 members working and 3 members at home, like I had confirmed with both you and Committeeman Sekas. My confusion is the memo that came out does not state that, so I'm not really sure as to what I'm supposed to be doing.
I thought we were dividing the DPW.
Who is it that's working, Eric?
Two separate crews, and one to work this week, the other to work next week, and the water operators, one working this week and one next week, just to split the employees up. That's the impression I had. Anybody else?
I understand that Sully, who's doing the repair work for police fire vehicles, so he's almost an essential. That's my understanding, and that Eric is an essential point because he is he's the head of the DPW. So if I'm wrong, please tell me.
No, that's what I thought too, Eric. I thought you and Sully are the only 2 that are over there on a daily basis for both weekly cycles.
Steve, Albert should be also. Here's the issue. If you're ahead of the department, I feel they should be there. And Sully we need, because he, like we said, he's the mechanic. He does all the work for the cars, the fire, the fire trucks, etc. Eric is in charge of DPW, and Albert is in charge of the water company. If either one, goes down, you have a backup. You have Bobby as a backup, and you have John as a backup. But in my opinion, any head of any department or individuals, to me, should be working.
As a municipal employee, I'll say, municipal government and county government, we are told by Trenton, is an essential service. I am working every day. The volume of work has dropped dramatically. I'm locked in a building like this all day long, but I'm there. The only thing with the road department is trying to, if someone is diagnosed with this virus, trying to, limit the amount of people that we are taking out of our workforce, basically. So whatever we come up with is fine with me, as long as we split that crew up somehow. And I'm not sure. Eric, how much work are you guys doing along the road at this point even?
Well, at this point, we only have 3 people. We've been trying to keep up with issues we have going on in the park where we can work safely away from the public. For example, we removed those trees at Walnut Valley today that we needed to do for the GeoWorks project. We have other jobs that we can do, sweeping and catch basins and things like that, where we can pretty much stay out of the public. So it's not a question of the amount of work that we have to do. It's just a question of who's supposed to be there, because my understanding was to split the department is 3 or 6 divided by 2, which would be 3 and 3. If myself and Mr. Sullivan are stuck there every week, that means that we are exposed to every single person coming in and out of there in the department. So it could possibly be that if what you're saying to me is that we're supposed to split the department past that, on certain weeks, we're going to have 5 people there with only 1 person left. So if all 5 people get infected, that's going to leave us with 1 public works employee.
Eric, there's no that's needed out there. I don't even know why anybody should be home, to be very honest with you. You could put one guy in a truck and have him go fill some potholes or something. I mean, really, I don't understand why they don't have to be out on the road. They're not with everybody.
Yeah, but I think with Eric's point is they have to check into the office every morning. And if that coronavirus is on a surface, everybody can get it.
Well, what about in town hall? People stay away from each other. You could do that. I mean, that building's big enough for everybody to stay away from each other.
Yeah, we do that in the town hall here, but you have to remember that we have some of the part-time people that we also send home, and that's like our reserve in case somebody goes down here in the office. It's not a vacation for these people. If we call them at 10 o'clock in the morning and say, get in here, you're going to come in here. It's not like I'm down at the beach on the beach, it's just, you got to work. I don't know, because I want to prevent, we can't close the building. That is the orders from the state. Do not close the building. It has to be manned. Even though it's close to the public, we are here. They want to maintain that visibility to the public. And same thing with the DPW. I don't care how we divide the crew up. That's why I said originally, maybe putting half of the guys down at Walnut Valley with their equipment and half of them over on Lambert Road with equipment. And just keep everybody working. I don't know.
Yeah,
See,
that's not a bad idea.
Because our emergency services can't be without a mechanic or leadership. I mean, it just can't. So maybe that's a fantastic idea. Separate them and put them in 2 different buildings.
But what really concerns me, I had a conversation with Eric, a week ago or whatever, I was over there, is the water department. It's not the operation of the water department if we get a main break. And the coronavirus, one guy's out with, he turned up positive with coronavirus and you sent everybody home. Who are we going to get? We're going to call an outside contractor and beg them to get their butt up here to work on this right away. We can't risk something like that. With a water utility, it's public safety, public health.
You could split them up. You've got 2 people for the water department. You have Albert on one, and then you have John, put him on the other team.
It's fine with me. Right. Eric, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a question of, you're asking about people to go and fill potholes by themselves. There's a question of safety there. We need to set up certain perimeters and certain traffic limitations. One person cannot go and fill potholes. It's not safe. If they get hit by a car, do you know what kind of POSHA problems we're going to have with that? That's not possible. There's no safety whatsoever. And as far as a water main,
that hit in Frankfurt 2 weeks ago, and he's out for almost a year now. He'll be. But no, you can't do that. We're not saying it's good for one person to fill potholes. We're not anything unsafe. Is it possible to split the road department crew into 2 separate crews then, and just have everybody working, but on different areas? Maybe not one person filling a pothole, but whatever. One crew working in Sycamore Park and the other crew working wherever at Walnut Valley. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe instead of discussing this at a township committee meeting like this, we want to take this offline. This is, personnel and DPW. Do we want to sit down and just work this thing out?
That may be the best
thing I do.
You need to look at the township's needs and the best way to satisfy them with keeping your employees safe. And, what I've said is there's no legal basis for making them all work or making them take staggered. But what other DPW departments are doing in other municipalities is staggering how they're working. If, you had the supervisor and your mechanic working every day, then you have whatever makes up the rest of your crew alternating. Maybe one crew of 2 comes in at 8 a.m. and another crew comes in at 10 a.m. and then they're out on the road and they're not interacting with each other at the office a lot. And I understand some of these jobs you need 2 people to work on for safety or whatever. They can work together and still maintain some semblance of not being right on top of each other. We have to put in caution, but you also have to do the business of the municipality. And when it comes down to it, you need your DPW around, because what if there is a water main break? What if there is some kind of emergency that you need the DPW for? So maybe it is something that you need to get a subcommittee, maybe one person from personnel, one person from someone else from the committee. You get together, you and Eric, you sit down, you talk about what is the easiest. Maybe Albert needs to be in, I don't know. You definitely need to talk about it, but in the meantime, you have to have a plan in place with, I'm in favor of the staggering starting times. So people aren't, so there aren't 6 people in the DPW building at the same time. The mayor had, half of you work out of a different location. That's also a good, idea. My boyfriend works for Jersey Central Power and Light. He's working, his truck is at a remote location. He doesn't go to the plant anymore. He gets in his truck over at a substation and goes and gets all of his orders on the computer. So we're going to have to be flexible in how we work while keeping the township running.
Exactly.
I agree.
The police department have their own arrangements through the prosecutor's office and the state police in case something happens. They have a mutual aid with other departments. I don't know how it'd work being here in Blairstown with no other neighboring departments, but still we have state police that we could always rely on. But we don't have a DPW. Hardwick Township has a 2-man road department. Hope has a 2-man road department. Knowlton, 4? But they're not even familiar with a water department operation, a water department break. That's what really concerns me. Well, let's get together.
Steve, it's not only that. Steve,
go ahead, Deb.
Okay, the other issue is the repairs of the vehicles, because not only you're not talking potholes here, you're talking keeping the police department running as well as the fire department. to me, that's considered an essential service.
Correct.
Or one of our people, DPW, you know, that's a need that has to exist every single day. So,
Correct. But you have to understand, most
you know, he's taking care of
within
DPW
Okay, one at a
equipment
time, one
as
at a
well.
time.
the
One at a
majority
time.
of DPW lives within 5 minutes of the shop. Myself or Sully can be there in 5 minutes. There's some sort of catastrophic problem that Sully needs to be in there for on the days he's supposed to be off. He's going to be there. The same thing with me. It's no different than if I take vacation, Bobby Keiss is in charge. So there's absolutely no difference than alternating 3 people 1 week on, 1 week off. That totally eliminates any sort of possibilities of anybody interacting with each other and, you know, infecting each other.
That was never brought up or mentioned before.
And I like Dawn's idea, staggering hours and keeping them separate in 2 different locations.
Could we all get together? Could we get one personnel, one DPW, and Eric?
Because I have 4 different people telling me 4 different things, and it's impossible to run a department to the, you know, to these sort of standards.
Oh, yeah. No, that's why I sent that memo out whenever it was over the weekend about this, just trying to address this. And I asked for comments and everything, and that's why I went out like that. But we got to do something, guys. Just let's sit down and work this out. This isn't brain surgery, whatever. If we're going to different locations, 1 week on, 1 week off, whatever we're doing. But they're not actually on vacation. Like Eric said, you know, if they get a phone call, hey, Eric, you got to come in right now, he's going to come in. You know, it's not like he's going to be, you know, in another state.
On vacation to Jamaica or something.
No, you know what? None of us are. I understand what you're saying, but none of us are. None of us want to be restricted to our homes or our, you know, private residences and not work. We all have to work. And all I'm saying is I think Steve's got the right idea. You know, maybe what we do is we restrict them to 2 separate buildings. We give them their own equipment to take home or something so they can still maintain either the quality of the roads or the equipment or whatever it is that they're doing.
If you choose another location, like another firehouse, and something happens there, then how do you quarantine that firehouse? Now you've sacrificed another essential part of your township.
It's true. There's no easy
Okay.
solution.
That's with anything. Anybody can get anything at any time, anywhere. You could be
That's it.
home, fine, home for the week, and then all of a sudden get something because you went to the store or something.
That's up for you guys to make that decision. If you want to roll the dice on that, go right ahead.
We get together maybe tomorrow or something and work this out finally before the end of the week.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We can't have 3 of us. Could we have 1 personnel, 1 DPW, and Eric then, and whatever? It could be all the employees. I don't care. Okay, Eric, we'll get back. We'll set up a meeting before the end of the week on this with 2 of us, you and whoever.
Okay, very good.
Let's just come up with something at this point. Okay. Any other department head? Okay, hearing none. Let's see. Did we start with the township committee? Yes, we did. We asked for Rob. Rob, do you have anything else?
Well, no, I think I've taken up enough time.
Okay, Rob, thank you. Okay, Steve.
Yes.
What do you have? Do you have any comments, questions, concerns?
No, I just, I've been keeping in touch with Scott and Eric on how things are going. And if you need me to meet with Eric this week, we can get this resolved, I'll be glad to do that. So.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Okay, Deputy Mayor Joanne, what do you got, Joanne?
Just 2 things. Number 1, on the census, if you get your census, to, you know, remind the public to send it in right away. If anybody needs help or needs a computer, I can go and help somebody and they can use my computer. I don't have to see their personal information. But it's really important, if we don't get everybody to respond to the census, that funding is at stake. That's number one. Number two, and Steve, you will know this, but I met with Kerry today, our tax collector, and found out that there is a freeze on the homestead credits, the homestead rebate.
Yep.
The state is going to hold off on that. They did say that the reissuance of the homestead benefit credit will be revisited if conditions warrant it. But right now, with the way that the taxes have been going, they don't feel that they have the money to distribute. That's it for me right now.
What about the senior tax freeze? Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't heard anything on that.
Yeah.
You probably not.
No word on the PTRs yet. It's too early because those checks aren't issued yet. But the homestead benefit, it was very weird. They actually, I got my directive like at 11:50 in the morning, my data file, because Trenton actually sends a data file over with all these adjustments. And at like 11:50, they sent it over. And like at 12 o'clock, I got an order to rescind it, do not send the bills. You know, I don't know what happened there. I don't even know why the files went out. I'm sure they will later on this year sometime. Trenton is concerned about the huge drop off in revenue. They cut back many programs. They froze a lot of different forms of state aid. There's a bill that's pending in Trenton, 3052, I believe it's called, A 3052, assigning discretionary power to the director of the Division of Local Government Services as far as any grace period extensions as far as payment of property taxes for May 1st. The problem with that is at face, you know, hey, let's extend the grace period, but everybody else depends on us. In Blairstown, what is 90%, 95% of the tax bill goes to the county in the schools. You know, we're paying teacher salaries, we're paying county employee salaries. The biggest thing is with the county, if we don't make the payment by a statutory deadline after our due date when taxes are due, we're assessed a 6% interest charge on the unpaid balance. So, you know, there's a lot of different things that come into play about extending grace periods and everything. I'm going through this conversation with many different agencies on my conference calls and everything. But the thing you have to remember is when you talk about property taxes, about revenues coming in a municipality, probably about 75% of those revenues are coming from escrow because of mortgages being on a property. And that bank is going to make those tax payments no matter if the person's making their mortgage payments or not. The bank will still make that payment because it jeopardizes their lien position. During the crash of 08, I went back, I do an analysis every year, and I went back and reviewed all my results today for town. We were at a 98+% collection rate in 08, and we actually bottomed out in 10, and it was down about 1.5%. That's all you're looking at. It's not people, I have mayors thinking that 30% of their money is going to go out the window. It doesn't work that way. Really, it's just not that way. But we'll see what happens with this bill and what the director of Division of Local Government Services come up with, because they're going to have to change the whole fiscal calendar for every agency, for the county, for the schools, for us. They all already extended our introduction by a month and our budget adoption by a month. I don't foresee all this happening. I think it's a bit of an overreaction at this point. Okay, Joanne?
Steve, when are they going to tell us what state aid that they're going to hold off on?
Well, the state aid, you know what? I have a list here. Nothing pertains to us at this point. Let's see if it's, did I pick up the right paper? No, I didn't pick it up. I picked up the wrong one. I have a stack here. None of them pertain to us at this point. The biggest impact is for our taxpayers as far as homestead benefit. A lot of our taxpayers, you know, depend upon that in the second quarter and fourth quarter, the adjustment to their tax bill, and that's not happening in the second quarter. What it could be, you know, if we believe a lot of these reports coming out of different agencies and everything else, where this is a V or a U-shaped recovery here. pretty quickly. You know, I'm sure they're going to see a homestead benefit applied to their fourth quarter, a full amount. Instead of getting half in the beginning of the year and half at the end of the year, they'll probably end up getting the full amount in the fourth quarter. But I'm just speculating on that. I have no way of knowing, you know, what's going on.
Okay.
Okay. For my report, good thing I work for the government, guys, because I'm on the phone all the time. Nick knows he's on the phone all the time, our OEM. You know, we have conference calls, daily conference calls with the county, very, very productive conference calls. Normally, there's a representative from every municipality in Warren County on the call, along with the Board of Freeholders, the county administrator, county health department, prosecutor's office, OEM, you name it. Sometimes we have the senior staff from Atlantic Health, which is Hackettstown Newton Hospital. We have everybody on there. Very, very productive calls. I give a daily report about the calls. What I can give, there's a lot of confidential information being passed around that I pass on to township committee people and OEM, but I post the public information on my mayor's Facebook page. So if you're on here listening to us right now, I'm sure you have a Facebook page. Go to Steve Lance, Mayor, Blairstown Township, and you can read. I put up 6 reports a day about what's going on. Let's see. Nick reported
Steve,
that there was. Yeah, go ahead, Deb.
Steve, you do a very concise report, especially up in this county. Can you make sure you get a report on your Facebook page, and I'll pass it along to the rest of the other pages so they can see it?
Oh yeah, you could share that. All my information is shareable. That's all public information there. You know, when I post on the mayor's page.
I'm referring to Service Electric.
I must
referring to the Service Electric.
Go ahead. Deb, you broke up.
No, I'm referring to the service that you want to establish. So you get that on your page as well as the others. All pages did it.
Deb, you broke up. I didn't hear you.
Mayor, I think she's referring to the Service Electric information.
Oh, the Service Electric. Okay, no problem. I'll make a post on. I'm a little tired now. I'll make a post on that tomorrow, and I want to get the updated county figures because Nick reported yesterday's counts. There's new counts out, but it came through in scrambled format. As more people are being tested, those results are going to really, really go up over the next week or so, and I want to see if I can unscramble the message I got from county OEM or Board of Health or whoever sent me the text. But I'll get that Service Electric out. I'll do a post on that tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
But you know, share anything you want that I put up there. You know, I'm sent a lot of things from the county administrator. Alex is doing a great job. Pete Summers, I can't compliment them enough. Freeholder Kern, Jim Kern, he's heading up this effort. It's an incredible effort. You know, everybody seems to want to get into the act here, and some of our other elected officials also hold these conference calls, not daily, but they hold them periodically. They're a waste of time, I'm telling you guys. It's basically they're reading the headlines of a newspaper. People are on there asking them, they're federal officials, and asking them state budget questions that they have no knowledge at all about. You know, the county phone calls, you know, Joanne was on the county phone calls with me originally, and there was too many people from the municipalities, and they're trying to limit to 1 per town. Hopefully they have that bandwidth increase their capacity at the county level. So maybe you could call in even if you don't comment, and you can listen to what's actually going on. It's amazing. Any other comments?
Nope.
Okay, hearing none. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion.
Somebody
second.
second, I'm not sure who.
I seconded.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
See you in 2 weeks. It would be great if we were
Thanks.
together
See ya.
in person.
Good job, Eric, Everett, in getting this set up.
No problem.
Everett has been
Thank you,
doing
Everett.
a hell of a job, I'd like to say. And I compliment him on the county phone calls constantly, telling people, if you would like to see what a website should look for a township with COVID-19 information on, go to the Blairstown site. He's a great guy for setting this stuff up. And if it wasn't for him, we'd be canceling this meeting tonight, as many of the townships have done in the area. They canceled their meetings tonight.
Thank you, Everett. Great job.
No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Everett.
Thank you.
Dawn,
Okay,
thank
guys, I'm
you.
going to shut this off so we're not in violation of sunshine law.
Okay.
Take care.
Good night, everybody.
Night, night.
Good night. Be safe.
Good night.
Bye.